Alright guys, what's up? MR.TwoSix checking back in. Here we have another Gunpla review, and lo and behold, it's the Star Winning Gundam from the Build Fighters Try series. Now this kit was fairly easy to put together. It's mostly an SD with transformations, so the SD part of it is really simple to put together. The downside to that is the articulation is terrible. I would say that there's pretty much no articulation, at least in the SD form of this kit. It's pretty much useless, and the parts easily come off as soon as you start trying to move the shoulders and the legs. So it's cute in the SD form, but as something that's posable, it just doesn't have any range of motion to pose it into anything other than what you're seeing right here. Now, there were a lot of stickers for this kit, but luckily the stickers are fairly easy to put on. I really didn't have any difficulty putting them on. It could be a little bit hard on some edges, like the pointy edges here on the backpack here with the yellow and the green, but other than that, it was not difficult at all. A lot of stickers, but just not difficult to put on. So let's go ahead and let's start going through the transformations, and we'll take it from there. So first we're gonna take a look at the first transformation, which would be the core booster or core fighter, whatever you want to call it. We'll just speed up the transformation here. You don't need me to go step by step. I actually had the manual in front of me as I was doing this, so it's fairly easy to do the transformations. So here it is, guys, the core fighter slash core booster. Fairly easy, it's cute, has a good amount of detail for something so basic. Is definitely a fun little thing to put together and transform into. I wish I could just get these, much like they do the Haros. I would like to see just like this in a bunch of different colors, and that would be pretty cool. But yeah, so let's move on to the real mode. So real mode is a little more involved. You have to use the backpack for the legs and the arms, the extensions on the legs and the arms, so a little more involved transformation. But all in all, this is a simple transformation. So let's go ahead and speed this up so you guys can see what it looks like. So here's the final product. Here's real mode assembled, and it looks pretty good. There's a nice contrast between the yellow, which is kind of pastel-y, and the white, and then you just have like that emerald green that just pops against these two colors. So it does look good, even though some of the proportions are out of whack, like the shoulders and the antenna. But other than that, at least for me personally, it looks pretty cool. So yeah, and then in this pose here, you can tell I removed the gates from the funnels from the knees and the elbows. Here we have the funnels mounted up on the guard bits. This basically creates the either the star cross or the shuriken, so they can be used either as shields or as something as a weapon that can be thrown. Similar to the Zero Maru, which has a shuriken, which I have that kit as well, and I'll be putting together fairly soon. But yeah. So, and then the funnels are two different sizes. You have two big ones and two small ones, and you can mix and match, or you can put the funnels on the knees, the bigger ones on the knees, and then the shorter ones on the elbows. Now this part I thought was interesting. I always thought in the anime that the real mode was kind of like a smaller Gundam, kind of like the core Gundams in Re-Rise. But when I put it next to my RX-78-2, they're nearly the same size. Or maybe the real mode is a little bit taller, but it's pretty much identical height-wise. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and it helped put things in perspective for me from the anime. Because that's one of my favorite series, and I've probably binged it like 4 times, so now I can put things in perspective. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation of real mode. So let's go ahead and look at the articulation here in real mode. Starting with the head, it can do the exorcist. It could go all the way around 360 degrees. It's a good way to start. Let's take a down, up, left to right. More movement than I've seen in other Gunpla kits, high grades. So next, at the arm, at the shoulder, up, about 90 degrees. You're pretty limited because of that shoulder armor that's there, the shoulder pad. And then let's take a look at the oh, it just popped out. And unfortunately in this kit, it's easy for the joints to pop off, because that's what it's meant to do as far as transform. So that's always fun, but luckily getting them in is not too difficult. Come on, I think we're in there on the shoulder, on the elbow I mean. Okay, I think we're in. All right, so let's look at the elbow. Waist, no movement, very little movement on the waist. Left, right, back and forth. I'm bringing the arms up so I can bring the legs out. Leg goes out about 45 degrees, and that's probably because it hits the side armor, the side skirt armor. And let's take a look at front again, less than 45. And again, because it's hitting the front end of that skirt armor, which does not pivot, so that limits articulation. And then looking at the back, the same thing, about 15-20 degrees, not much. So 20 degrees back, 20 degrees front. At the knee, a little bit more than 90, and again it's limited because of that armor piece there. And in the feet, a little bit of articulation, not a whole lot, because it's pretty much relying on the poly cap. So, and then the ankle bends all the way back. That's one of the parts that needs to be articulated when you're going into one of the transformations. So that's pretty much it for articulation. It's not that good, but it's better than the SD. And just like I did with the Lightning Gundam, this is my second GP base, and I did the same thing. I did a printout using that template that I found online, changed the information, and that's how it's gonna go on my display case next to the Lightning Gundam. I also did a little video here with the light, the LED, which again I'm gonna purchase as well. I'm gonna get those little LED units. I might get the off-brand one just because they're cheaper and you can replace the batteries on them, but I'm not 100% sure yet, so we'll see. We'll get there when we get there. So alright guys, that's it. That's my review on the Star Winning Gundam. Great kit to put together. Really simple. Probably took me about 4 hours to put it together. But there's no articulation. There are a lot of stickers, even though the stickers are fairly easy to put on. And the gimmicky part of it is that it has 3 transformations. So if you're into those things, and this isn't something that's going to be changing a lot as far as posing, then go ahead and get it. I do recommend this kit just for the novelty, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty good. So guys and gals, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget, next up is the Star Winning Gundam, which will close out this mini build series. So until then, peace.